Hey guys, how's everybody doing tonight? It's the evening edition. It's only like 4:30 here. It's 3 hours later back there on the East Coast, so I try to be sympathetic to my family and friends back east. Although that does confuse me because I thought that the Pacific time zone doesn't start until like the California border or somewhere around there, which would make us in the Mountain time zone. And I thought the Mountain time zone was a 2-hour swing. For some reason here in Arizona it's a 3-hour swing, and I don't understand that. I thought it was Eastern, Central an hour, Mountain 2 hours, Pacific 3 hours. But I could be wrong. Everything's been confusing me out here. Anyway, I wanted to give a shout out to thank you to everybody that's been responding about their favorite songs. A buddy of mine, Joe, his son plays ball with my son. He doesn't have the Facebook to be able to post it, but he told me his song is Anything Like Me by Brad Paisley. And his reasoning, which of course means the world to me, is he heard it for the first time and kind of remembers his oldest, which is Sam, being his wife was pregnant at the time with his firstborn, so he always kind of has that song there, and that's what I think music's all about. So many of you have given me, first of all, some really great songs, and along with that, some really touching stories as to why they mean things to you, and I think that's what this side is about. This was a kind of a cool thing that we did today, and it just kind of comes on the heels of I guess what I wanted to talk about. So, you know, when I took this journey and left 13, 14 weeks ago now, I was hoping to be able to prove to my kids and myself that humanity existed, and I'll be going for the next at least 3 weeks, if not longer, making sure I thank all of you guys and remind you that this wasn't about me at all. It was your support. But you know, being able to talk and touch people with our stories the way we did today, not just me doing it, but everybody sharing, I think is what I had always envisioned and hoped. So thank you for sharing the songs. I haven't gone through them all yet, but thank you for sharing them, and thank you for sharing the background to it. Sometimes it's pretty painful. We had a soldier that was killed in action. We had somebody that had died of a drug overdose last week, and it was funny. Melissa, I think he told me it was her daughter. I think it was Melissa that had drug addiction. She had several songs. One of them was Stuck Like Glue by Jennifer Nettles' Sugarland. And I happened to hear that song today while walking, and again, I'll never hear that song the same way again, because I'll link those two together, and I'll always be back to that point in the journey when I heard it. So, but I really want to talk about something else today, which to me, and I'm going to try not to get emotional, but to me embodies hopefully what the point of thumb message is and what this journey is. The point of thumb message doesn't correlate exactly to what my story is going to be, but in a sense it does as well. It's about people looking at themselves and seeing how they can help somebody else, looking in the mirror and not thinking about themselves first. But that's today. So here's kind of a weird thing. You know, I try to be open and honest with you guys while I'm out here. I mean, it's talking about the highs, talking about the lows. It means letting you know when I'm happy and euphoric. It means letting you know when I'm beat to hell. I'm not doing it to whine. I'm not doing it to do anything, but just kind of let you know, hey, here's a day in my life right now, and you know, you guys have chosen to kind of follow a day in my life. Sometimes it's kind of cool, sometimes it's kind of boring, but I'm just real honest. And one of the things that's really weird is physically, within, I walk a mile in just under 20 minutes. I do about 19 minutes a mile on average. And in that 19-20 minute window, I can tell you, it's the strangest thing that I can go from feeling great to feeling excruciating pain to where I'm like, man, this has to stop. If it lasts another 10 minutes, I won't be able to continue, to going back to feeling fine. All in that little circle. Well, today, for whatever reason, I started off feeling great, and then I was in pain. There's something, I don't know who could tell me this, I'm no doctor. If you put your hand right behind your knee, right behind, like, so there's something that goes up behind your knee. I don't know if it's a muscle or a tendon, or it's not going to be a tendon, I don't think, but it's kind of like an Achilles heel kind of thing is what it feels like. And that there on me, on my right knee, from the side of my right knee to that thing is just absolutely crazy painful at times. And one of those times was today. And I was just really beat up, and almost was well, not stopping the journey. I had to just stop for a little bit, and then the last few days, as we come to an end of this thing, has been a battle between weather and rain, and knowing I'm so close, you know. Let me rephrase that because I want to look at it half full. Knowing how much I've accomplished, if I drop dead tomorrow, I would feel a great sense of accomplishment personally, as well as in terms of the journey. And I think that there's been a lot of people who have supported me and who get the message and who understand it and realize that there is no downside to it. We'll go on preaching it, and hopefully we do change the world a little bit at a time. But the battles mentally are getting, they're winning out a little bit. So let's just say I was having a bad moment today, and I'm not trying to talk this about the bad moment. It's what happened after that was so journey defining to me. I got a phone call. From Pastor Fred, who I met in Columbia City, Indiana, probably 10 weeks ago. He was nothing but a gentleman then, a friend. We connected. He opened my eyes to some things. Terrific man. And today, out of the blue, a lot of people will reach out to me periodically, some more regular than others, and I get a little concerned when I don't hear from somebody. Speaking of that, I haven't heard from Debbie in New Haven in about a week now, and that's not like her. So if you know Debbie, I hope everything is okay with her and Gibbs, and let me know that everything's okay, please, guys. But Pastor Fred, I don't know how he did it, but there's a book that I read that I recommend called The Right Words at the Right Time. It's written by Marlo Thomas, the daughter of Danny Thomas, who founded St. Jude's Children's Hospital, which is one of the charities I'm looking to raise money for on the website, which is pttjourney.com. And she has two versions. One is with celebrity folks, and one is with just common everyday folks. They're both great, although I happen to prefer the common everyday folks. But it's the one book that I read, pretty frequently, cover to cover, and I highly recommend it to any of you guys out there. But it's called The Right Words at the Right Time. And it's amazing how that happens. And so Pastor Fred called me, and he didn't have any agenda. He didn't have anything to push or sell. He just asked me how I was doing. And I told him, honestly how I was doing. I just said, I think, one line, and I forgot what it was. Something. I think I said I'm battling. And he's like, well, what are you battling? And he asked the question, and I confessed that a lot of hours out there. It's a choice to kind of think optimistically at this point. It's one I have to consciously make and fight for. And also, I confess that I don't think consciously, but subconsciously, there's a certain bit of knowing what awaits me at home, knowing I got to catch up on 3 months of bills, and my car. I'm not sure. I don't take the calls. I'm afraid to talk to these people because I have no answer to give them. But then my car will still be in the driveway, and my house will still have a working key that I can access. But he called me out of the blue, and he just asked me how I was doing, and talked to me. And it wasn't a long conversation. And when we got done, he said, Jim, would you mind, could I pray for you right now? And I said, absolutely. So I sat there on the phone. And here's this man. This is what I literally was in tears as he was praying for me. I'm trying to cry now. I was literally in tears because this is what is amazing that I don't think people really understand. And I don't necessarily mean even the PTT family. I mean the rest of the world. I'm not saying you guys don't understand that. I think you do. That's why you're following me and you support me. But this man didn't know me 13 weeks ago. There's nothing that I could give him of any tangibility, any value of a tangible nature, other than my friendship and getting to know him. And yet this man sat there and not only thought about me, but took the time to just talk to me. And I can say this without any shame, that I know Pastor Fred loves me, and I love him back just as much. I want to be honest with you. He's a great guy, and I just connected with him. But think about that for a minute. Think about how a happenstance meeting 13 weeks ago has led to two people, two humans of our race, our species, loving each other. I'm sure he would have loved me, even not knowing me, but we came together and we got to know each other. And it was, these ants, it just resonated with me. It was so overwhelming that some strange person I didn't know 13 weeks ago cares enough about me to pick up a phone and call and just love me. That's what this journey is about. And then to top it off, let me top that off now. Right? So here I am, overwhelmed. I'm sitting in a Dairy Queen. I tried to get a soda on my way back from the walk, and I have a lot of money. Sat down and get a soda. And literally, as I'm in tears, just finishing up that phone call, I get a text message from Jimmy West, who is a gentleman in Cuba, Missouri. He owns a restaurant called Frisco's. And again, this gentleman is super busy. He doesn't have to worry about me. But he took the time to send me a message and just say, hey man, we're following you, we believe in you, thinking about you, just know we all got your back out here. Again, here's another human being that's got plenty on his plate. He doesn't need to be worrying about me, but yet somehow he found the time in his day and his life to think about me. Man, sometimes back home, everybody's home, we got friends we don't even reach out to and tell them we love them. That we don't even look out, or coworkers, or church-going members, or anything else, and just reach out with a few words and say, hey, we got you back, thinking about you. You don't know how powerful those two things were this afternoon. So anyway, that to me is what this journey has been about. It doesn't happen every day. There are days I walk and just want to cut my right knee off and go back home to my kids and say, screw this. But it's because of those things that I could share with you and my children. That was what makes this journey what it is. So I swear I was going to get upset, and I haven't yet. No tears have come out yet. So thank you, Pastor Fred. Thank you, Jimmy West. I love you both. I love all you guys that pick me up every day. But just think about it. Tomorrow, find someone close to you that you don't thank often enough. And it doesn't have to be someone, family member. Somebody you pass, let them know. That's what this journey's about right there, guys. So, and then on that note, two other quick observations that I'll share with you. I have a couple minutes left here. So one of the things that's been really intriguing to me, particularly today, is as I sat in Dairy Queen, I had a hamburger and a soda. In my little walk today through town, just that part, I must have seen, I don't think I'm exaggerating, at least 6 different people, either backpacking or homeless, in just that little span. So it's weird in the sense that sometimes I've gone to towns, the St. Louis newspaper was like, hey Jim, we got people walking through here all the time. Tracy back in outside of Cuba runs the paper over there. Said, we were talking the one day, and she said, Jim, we got people stopping by the office all the time, going through on a bike, walking. What you're doing is not a real big deal, but what makes you special was your story was different than theirs. And I didn't realize just how many people, traverse Route 66. It just blows me away. So, as you guys are out there, know that. And then here's the last bit that I'm trying to get used to. 2 things. Well, I'll finish up with this one. First of all, they put mustard on their hamburgers out here, which I'm not anti-mustard. I'm not. But I can tell you this. If there's a shortage of mustard anywhere in the world, they need to come to the Dairy Queen in Holbrook, Arizona, because they put so much mustard on their stuff. I could drip it in from an IV bag into me. So put the APB out there. If there's any kind of shortage whatsoever in mustard around the world, here's the place to go looking for it. Oh my God, it was nuts. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. These ants, look at this. Look, these are ants that crawl right on my hat. I set my hat down for 2 seconds. You can't even see them, that it fell off. There they are. I'm crawling my brim. Anyway, love you guys. Thanks for following. I'll talk to you all soon. Have a great night. I think there's some playoff baseball tonight, and we'll go from there. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in the morning.